I want to bring this up, Bill. Tournament. We've got a star-studded celebrity tournament every Saturday night, as you know. We've got people from the world of film, TV, music, sports, theater, comedy, wrestling, everywhere you can imagine, and we're always live. 45 to 47 groups, and I want to bring in a guest momentarily. He's an amazing guy. He's got a group. Our stuff streams on their pages. Now, some of these groups have 20,000 members, 2,000 members, 100,000 members. All of our numbers, thankfully, are as a result of these amazing groups that allow us to stream live on their pages. Yes. Thank you so much for what you do. We're going to bring in somebody who actually has a group page that I implore everybody to visit. But I also want to bring this up. People have been asking me, Bill, about the new network. And they've heard Rick Barry go on live saying he's part of the network. They've heard Raymond J. Barry. They've heard Stephen Tobolowsky, Todd Bridges, an assortment of people who've joined the network officially. We are now in the midst of round 2. Unless people want my head to explode, and there are plenty that do. But unless those that want my head to explode, I think it's best for us to debut the new network and our new co-hosts and our new family after round number 2. Because right now we are doing so much. As a matter of fact, this Saturday night we have 2 people from the world of film and TV. Face Value, Sunday night with Andy McDaniel, and of course, Bread and Butter. So guys, round number 2, once it finishes, we will make sure we debut. Get all the dates right. We've got to line all the dates right for all the people we're working with. We're talking 27 shows. That's a lot. Of course, David, Holiday, and Howard, everyone's going to have their own show as well. So it's a lot of stuff we've got coming down the pike. Wait till the end of round number 2. In the meantime, enjoy round number 2. It is hot and heavy. Bill, we have Tessie. We've got Mr. Arrowwood. We've got Ed. We've got a lot of people joining us right now. Thank you so much. But you were talking about a couple of things behind the scenes with me. I asked you a question about athletes.
Yes.
Which athlete would you like to have? Would you like to have the athlete that gives you 2 solid seasons of amazing activity, but then flames out for whatever reason, maybe because of injury, maybe because of off-the-court activities, or would you rather have a guy who's not as great, but gives you 10 solid seasons of productivity? Which athlete would you like to have on your team and why?
I'm going to say, as a former coach, football, baseball, and of course wrestling and that system, you deal with a lot of athletes, a lot of personalities, and I'm going to always go with consistency. I'm a firm believer in a good year and a bad year and an off year, but if you keep grinding and you keep doing your thing, the short answer is I'm going to go with the consistent athlete. I want someone who's going to be there for the long haul, that you can build your organization or your team around, and that's going to carry that forward in the time when they do leave, whether it's injury or retirement after X amount of years. I'm just not a big fan of sports these days because I think a lot of people come in, hit and run. They're going to come in and get theirs, and then move on. So it's very hard for an organization. It's hard for management. It's hard for coaches. But how is a fan supposed to get behind their team when that team is changing every 2 years because there's more money to be made in a different team or more money to be made in a different sport, or I've just had enough of this. Let's move on. You know what I mean? So as a coach and as a former athlete, I'd always go with the consistent performer, someone that's in there, barring an injury that's not, that they can't control. Give me consistency.
And as a fan, I'd rather have consistency as well. I almost feel like it's the same thing with a series or a sitcom. A lot of times we get pissed off, we get a little bit aggravated when a character is replaced by another actor or an actress.
Right.
It's like, hey, that's not you. You're not playing that character. Same thing with sports. You're not my point guard. You're not my quarterback. You're not my running back. I'm used to watching you dominate and help my team excel. On the flip side, if it's someone we don't really like on our team, in my case, Charles Smith of the Knicks in the 90s, he could not get out fast enough. He could not leave that team quick enough. I mean, so it kind of goes both ways.
That was the person you wanted to see go. It wasn't the team you wanted to see.
No, not the team. No.
My son is different.
Sometimes it's kind of like, I would say I would connect the two. If you're hurting my team is going to go. I mean, that's the way I look at it. But what are you saying about
my
your son?
son's different. These kids, they know so much about so many that they don't follow a team. They follow.
Yeah.
And I'm not disappointed because his knowledge of sports and as he's growing up, he could talk baseball all day long, but can he talk purely about the Yankees? No. He knows the stars. He knows the players. He knows and I think that sets the tone for these kids coming up is now that it's groomed in them that you don't have to be loyal to a team. Just be good at what you do and take care of yours. But as a coach, I've always said one guy can't win a game, but one guy can certainly lose it. And I think it's the same for a team dynamic. One guy can ruin a team dynamic, but that same guy isn't the only one who makes up that team. And that's just coaching, I guess, philosophy from an old guy. But the question is, I would like to just go with those consistent players and groom them for the future of the team, the organization, and the sport.
And coming again from a coach, from a guy who also has a star-studded son who's really doing well in baseball. God bless him. Hope he continues to excel with you as his coach and his father. I'm sure he will. Ed Hauser's joining us from South Jersey, not the real Jersey, South Jersey, Bill. That's not the real Jersey. No. Tammy,
it's like
hello.
The state line thing we were talking about.
Yes. Casey, what, Bill? Casey last pronounced it?
Kakamakowicz
is joining us.
Yeah,
Robert Howard. Guys, I want to bring in Mr. And this is someone who's, again, been really, really great to us. A guy who has his own page. Mr. Johnson, I'd like to bring you in and talk to you about your page. Welcome to Face Value.
G'day, how's it going? Thanks for having me.
Hey, man, how you doing, brother?
Pretty good. Yourself?
I'm doing great.
How do we pronounce your first name?
I struggle with it myself. I think it's the Irish French version of Lawrence.
Lawrence.
So I just basically say Laurence. Well, I used to say Lawrence, but I think you say Laurence.
If you put on a suit and go into a lounge and say it the way you just said it, you can get any woman you want in your entire life.
Yeah, you're leaving with a date.
You're leaving with a date, man.
Yeah.
That's
probably work well.
Oh, no doubt about it. By the way, I want to tell everyone you've been supporting all of our stuff for a long time, and I appreciate that.
Right on.
Guys and gals, he has a great group. All of our stuff streams there as well live. We want to bring in admins every week or so just to thank you guys. Been trying to do that for the last few months, but gosh, a lot of things are there's so many things that we have to line up. Our ducks are lined up in a row right now. Talk about your group. Talk about when you started your group, what your group entails. I'll pull up a photo as well of your page. Let us know what your group is.
I started a few years ago. I got inspired because I was a part of another wrestling group, and I just thought they were criticizing stuff, so I thought I'll start my own group where I criticize, but I'll do it where it draws interest to wrestling and comes from the passion standpoint and draws interest to the storylines. And from there, I've been building up, and I have various people that contribute, and I pretty much leave it as an open forum where people have their opinions. But it's not just cyber slamming and criticizing. It's about, having a passion for pro wrestling.
I'm scrolling down here. See a lot of content. Of course, I see an amazing show called Face Value that you put up on your page, which I love. And guys, I want you to look at exactly what it says. We'll promote this as much as we can too. Guys, I implore you to go to Lazza's Pro Wrestling fan group page. A plethora of great items here. You can scroll down. A lot of videos, a lot of good content. You support the indies, and that's really cool. Bill, what do you think of the page from what you see so far?
I like it. The first question to me is, I can't manage, and I say that. I can't manage my own Facebook page. So I'd like to know from you, because I like what you said about, because I think there's a difference between criticizing and critiquing. And I firmly believe if someone's a fan of it, they can critique it, but don't tear it down. So one, I'm on board with you, dude. You got my attention, and I will be joining that group if I'm accepted. But how hard is it sometimes to kind of get those, because every once in a while you got somebody who goes rogue and posts something. So do you find yourself spending a lot more time than you'd think navigating, keeping your page on that format you want to keep it?
I've been lucky where people haven't been too bad. I'll let people away with a fair bit, but I'll sort of look at whether I need to delete stuff. Yeah. There have been times I've deleted stuff. I've assessed whether I'll say something. Sometimes I'll just delete it, and it'll be a hint where people will get the picture. I haven't really banned anyone yet, but like the main one that annoys me is if I feel like they post something that has nothing to do with pro wrestling. Like, there's some stuff I'll let away with, but Yeah, I've had people post stuff where they're trying to sell stuff that has nothing to do with pro wrestling. But if it's to do with pro wrestling, like selling merchandise, I'm happy for them to share that. I'm all for sharing stuff for pro wrestling to make money. It's just a case of, I like people having a passion and I try and encourage the passion.
And you never ask for anything in return. You've been posting our stuff or allowing me to post our stuff for a long time now and sharing it with you. And you've been really cool about that, man.
Awesome.
Are you in Australia?
Yeah, I live in Brisbane, Australia currently.
Bill's been
yeah.
Australia. Yeah.
Big fan of Australia. Big
I want to
fan.
escape Australia.
I don't know if you're a
but don't
fan.
have the
I
money.
don't know if you're a fan, Lazza, of Australia. I don't know. But I'll say this much. Every time, again, that you guys are allowing us to post our content on your page, we don't overlook that. It means a lot to us.
Yeah, man.
It's a great community, and it's a shame that there are some pages that may not be professional. They don't handle things the way that you do. But keep doing what you're doing, man. And you could come up here. We'll talk. We'll get into your mind a little bit more. We'll talk a little wrestling. We haven't done that here in a while. Anything you'd like to tell the viewers, guys, I implore you once again, I'm going to pull up this page. All you have to do is join it and show some love for Lazza's Pro Wrestling Fan Group. This is exactly how it looks here on Facebook. I will share the screen here live. All you have to do is scroll up. As you see, I've joined already. Bill will join. Join this group. It's a really, really cool, fun page. Anything you'd like to tell our viewers now, Mr. Johnson?
Yeah. At the moment, I've got to still set up like an address thing for it, but if you want to join the group, search it up on Facebook, Lazza's Pro Wrestling Fan Group. I wouldn't mind giving a shout out to a few people
Please.
that share stuff on it that I really appreciate.
It's not this guy, right?
No.
Hey, how are you?
Pretty good.
Lawrence.
Yeah, no, there's like a few people that regularly share stuff. Mike Messier is one. He has some really good stuff. Also Tantalize and Tony. And
Joined.
awesome. And I also want to shout out to like some of the local indie people that share on my Facebook group as well, like TNT, AWF. They've been around for a while, since '99. I encourage them. They're based in Sydney, and there's a few other local indies in Queensland and the rest of Australia. I sort of promote mainstream wrestling, and then I try and slip in the indie stuff to get attention to indies, as long as they've got good content, because you get some indies that are like really bad, but you get like a good indie you can follow. It's good to support your local indies. Like a music gig, you get like good music gigs and bad music gigs.
Yeah.
And so I try and
gotta know your
encourage
wrestling.
that.
Gotta know your Facebook groups. This is one heck of a Facebook group.
Awesome.
I'm gonna get in touch with you again, my friend, and thank you once again for giving us a platform on your page. Thank you.
Oh yeah, I want to shout out to you as well. I enjoy the content you share on my Facebook group
Thank you.
with like the different podcasts and streaming. There's some really good ones that I get into.
Oh, I
Very
appreciate
cool.
that. I appreciate that, man. Continued
Alright,
support
my pleasure.
from us to you, and likewise, we'll see you very soon, man.
Cheers, much
Thank you,
appreciated.
brother. Be safe.
You too.
It's pretty cool to have some of the admins on, Bill. We keep talking about that, and I figured that this was the time to actually bring someone. Every week I'd like to have an admin come on, because they are sort of the unsung heroes in driving our not just our metrics, but letting their viewers know about what we're doing.
Yeah, I think it's funny when and it goes back to a conversation we're having offline about perception, right? You hear, well, admin of a group, and I'm sure someone was waiting to see, you and I are in our early 30s,
Sure.
but people,
Yeah. Approaching mid, but yeah.
they're waiting to see someone more like Holiday, who's very tight, and but it's not. These are people that are just sharing their knowledge and their love for the subject that their page is about, and the fact that they're sharing what we do and we connect with their audience as well is awesome. So I really like the idea, and I look forward to meeting a lot more admins and then seeing what, because hey, face value touring Australia in 2022 is not upsetting.
No, not at all, guys. Anything will happen and can happen. So there you go. An admin joined us. David Holiday joined us briefly. Have a conversation. Bye.